Thank you.
Senator Boozman.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you very much for having this hearing, and thank you all for being here and the good work that you do. Accountability and transparency at the VA are imperative in ensuring quality care within the organization, and we look forward to continuing our work on this committee to provide the VA with the tools it needs to deliver world-class care to veterans. And I apologize for not being earlier, but I'm ranking member on VA MilCon, and we're pleased to have the bill on the floor right now. We're discussing it, and hopefully early next week we'll get that passed and have some certainty on the Senate side, and then work with our colleagues on the House. The good news is there's tremendous support. You know, we hear about all the rancor going on up here, but the nice thing about veterans, nobody cares if they're Democrats or Republicans. And this committee is a very, very bipartisan group that, with your all's help, has done a lot for veterans in the last several years. So leadership at the local medical center level is important, especially during times of operational changes to the organization. This importance has been highlighted during the deployment of the new electronic health record system. The DoD has been able to implement the same system in almost all of its facilities in the U.S. However, the VA is not yet fully to implement this system even in one facility. It's my belief that leadership at the local level is critical to the success of the implementation of the EHRM. And I know that we've all been frustrated with that. You all have been frustrated with it and working really hard to get it going. Ms. Therrett, is the VA exploring options to put systems or processes in place to hold medical directors accountable if you encounter resistance in implementing EHR at their facility when there are no technical issues with the system?
Senator, I'm going to ask Mr. Perry if he has information related to the question that you posed with respect to VHA.
You're like me.
Thank you, Senator.
You punch him and say, "Take it, David."
Yes, sir. I'm not aware of specifically any leadership that's pushing back on the electronic health record deployment. I know what I can say is that we heard loud and clear from our clinical community that there were some real challenges with the system, and we wanted to make sure that we got it right. So when we made that strategic pause in the deployment of Cerner, that is exactly why we did so. So we could go back to the vendor to make sure that the concerns that were addressed by our clinicians were addressed, so that when we did go forward with more deployments, we didn't actually cause any more harm. In the case where we had a leader decide not to implement EHR, we would take appropriate steps to make sure that it did not occur. But that was not the reasoning for delaying any of the deployments, sir.
Good. Very good. That's good to hear. I recently joined Senator Peters in introducing the VA Peer Review Neutrality Act. This legislation is important. It would require peer reviewers to withdraw from the case where they have direct involvement or a conflict of interest, and have a peer review committee at another VA facility evaluate the findings. So Ms. Therrett or Mr. Perry, whoever's appropriate, can you speak to the importance of having impartiality and neutrality when conducting quality management and administrative investigations?
Absolutely, sir, and I think that's one of the main reasons we support the LEAD Act, is to make sure that when we have those concerns come up, that we have the appropriate oversight and reviews that happen from a point of neutrality. And so I think combining some of those focuses on the clinical and the administrative side, I think those outside neutral reviews are paramount to make sure that we get it right and that we don't have things continue to happen that lead to bad outcomes.
Very good. Did you take note of that, Mr. Chairman, that they support this and feel like we need to get it pushed forward?
It's your request, Senator Boozman.
No, again, thank you all very much, and we do appreciate all of your hard work and look forward to continue to work with you in the future on all of these different things. And so again, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Boozman, I might add that the VA MilCon bill is on the floor to your good leadership.